Hello and welcome back. This is episode 5 of the Backyard Chickens episodes I'm doing. And this is actually the first day I released the chickens, or the two oldest chickens we have, into their new home. And when we moved in, I think I've mentioned in previous videos, we had this chicken coop already on our property, so we didn't have to get this built or anything. But there was definitely some debris in there from the previous owners' birds, so I just gave it a quick clean out. The floor wasn't too terribly bad, but the nesting boxes had a good amount of debris in it, so you see me pulling out handfuls of it here. But this is just really solid coop. I think it's about 8 feet by 4 feet in the interior. Really solidly built. The floor is really sturdy, and it's actually lifted off of the ground by they almost look like 4x4s. So I'm thinking in the future, for cleaning purposes, I may be able to cut a trapdoor in the floor and then slide like a tarp or a metal tray underneath the coop and just sweep it into that hole and then pull the tray out. But as of now, just having 2 birds in there, they really haven't been requiring too much cleaning. And here I'm going to use about a half a bag of pine shavings. They're the thicker, or not thicker, but the bigger shavings, so that it doesn't create a lot of dust. There's a finer grit than this, but it just seemed like it would get too dusty. So I threw some on the floor there and some in the nesting boxes. And I think in total I probably used about a half a bag, and in retrospect that's probably a little more than I needed. On the floor here, once I got it all spread out, I think I ended up having about 3 inches deep of shavings, which is just a little bit of an overkill. Now when the chickens were downstairs, they would always, like when they would kick around, they would kick the chips into their water dish, so I was constantly cleaning out wet shavings from their water dish. And so I decided to build up this little platform here with bricks that I found in the yard and put the watering bin on top of those bricks. And actually that has worked really well. That water stays crystal clear for days at a time, and it takes a long time for them to kick up the wood chips enough to actually enter into that reservoir. Now here comes the first chicken. I believe that's Michael Jackson, actually, is what we call that one. And Griffin is out there with me. He was terrified of them when they were little babies, but now he thinks they're just giant toys. And he gets really excited when they chirp. And here comes the second chicken. I believe that's Zazzul. So these two are Michael Jackson and Zazzul. I can't tell which is which. Zazzul's the smaller one, so I think it's the one closest to the door here. And for the first little bit, they were kind of boring inside, so I entered the coop to try to get them outside to check out their new surroundings. And in that white little bin up in the front of the chicken run, I have diatomaceous earth and sand so that they can dust bathe themselves, and the diatomaceous earth keeps the pests down. But I found that it's a lot more successful when I just actually spread that on the ground and then they seek it out to bathe in. So they were just moseying about, learning their new surroundings. This grass has had such a hard time growing in, so I'm going to have to move this chicken run basically really regularly to get them fresh grass, because for whatever reason the grass doesn't like to grow here, and it certainly doesn't help with them pecking around in it. And this is them inside enjoying their new digs. And they love that roost. I'll go in there and they're always on there, or they're in that nesting box closest to the door. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned and please subscribe to follow along in the Backyard Chicken series.